Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Live from Harlem in New York City, guess what? It's me, I'm Alex, and this is the Ramble. Ladies and gentlemen, that there is Lori Thompson.
Hello.
This is the second time we've had to do this today because I had my microphone all the way over there.
Think of that as
it would have been a lousy opening. But Lori Thompson, of course, as you know, was my aide de camp in the radio show in San Francisco. And, it was one of those kind of things that wherever I would go, people would go, "Where's Lori?"
Oh, well, that's
they thought we
nice.
traveled together everywhere.
Yeah, we did. In fact, I've been having dreams, and the dreams I have with you're involved, we're nearly always traveling. We're doing the radio show, but we're always traveling. And we're always getting into like little kerfuffles with people where we got to do some fast talking to get our way out.
Yeah. But the reason why we're always traveling in your dreams is that in real life, I don't think we ever really saw much of each other outside
Not really.
of the
We
show.
go to lunch. Yeah, go to lunch. once in a
Occasionally
while.
there'd be a lunch or something, but I mean, basically, you spend 4 hours with somebody. And usually a little more than that because of some prep. Some prep and some after show stuff. But you spend maybe 4 or 5 hours a day with somebody. Why in the world would you hang out with them after that?
Exactly. I mean, it was always pleasant when we did, but our schedules were different too, because we both were big proponents of naps. I remember.
Yeah.
And then I would go home, have my nap, and then I would go walking around because I was the proverbial kid in a candy store in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Come from this tiny town, in the Midwest, and then just have this wonderful cosmopolitan city. I would walk all over the town every day.
Yeah. But I would then go home, get my nap.
And then a parade of chicks would arrive at your door.
Yeah. Well, sometime I would meet somebody at the show that I took back.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. That was a rare occasion, but I did. And then I missed I missed my nap.
I know, and that could throw you off.
And by the way, you see what happens is when you go on in the morning, you got to be there at 5 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Something ridiculous, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've got to really be awake at 5 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:07, as I like to put it.
I can always tell, but depending on the intro you're using, you had Professor Longhair was one, and then you had a jazz one, I think by Lee Ratnauer or something, and then you just had various opens, and I could tell by how long the intro played.
Well, after the news, we could go to a song.
That's true.
And so I would call on my car phone, and I would say, "I'm almost there, play a song."
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
I mean, people ask me, "How early did you get there to prepare for the show?" And I go, "What? Did that show ever sound prepared?"
I'll speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I like to I like to wake up, but I do wake up really quickly. I mean, 0 to 60 and 60
Really,
to
you were
0.
that good? People always used to say to me at the station, the honchos at the station, "Your first hour sucks." And I said, one reason is I'm not awake.
Yeah.
And
that's something I've always awakened real fast because my mom was she cracked the whip. If she came home and we weren't doing anything, I mean, act busy, because she would give us something to do.
Oh, really?
And that's why. And we had several ways to learn she was coming. We could hear her on the front porch, and then we could hear her in this little foyer we had. Then we could hear her in the hall. And then we knew that she was coming into where we were in the family room or kitchen, and we better have something to do.
Well, you know something, I met your parents on a couple of occasions.
You did,
And,
yeah.
and they were wonderful people. You know?
That's nice.
Yeah,
They were wonderful people, but they were my parents.
No, that's what I always said. People said, "Oh, your mother." What did you think of my mother, for instance?
I loved her.
See, you loved her, right?
She was charming. She was just a doll.
The woman was the biggest pain in the ass in my life.
Well,
and people would say exactly what you said, and I'd have to say, "Yeah, but she isn't your mother."
Yeah. And the thing is, when we're growing up, it's hard to not see them as parents if we would learn earlier on that they were going through their same struggles. I mean, they're, at 40. Mm-hmm. And, we just saw them as our parents, and it's like, whoa, you're falling down on the job. And yet, if we'd seen them just as people going through their own hills and valleys and life decisions, it would have been a much more easy flow.
My mother was I'll tell you what the relationship was of her to me.
Yeah. And you're an only child. Yeah.
I'm an only child. So to begin with, I was smothered.
Yeah.
Just absolutely smothered. Yeah. Who wants to be smothered? Nobody wants to be smothered.
Well, did you get everything you wanted though?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, when it was Christmas time or it was my birthday, I got all the toys, all right?
Yes.
And when they wore out, they gave them away to charity because there was no brother or sister to get them. Or there were no clothes for me to hand down because when I grew out of them, they threw them out,
Yeah, yeah.
But, and Marjorie always goes to me, "You are an only child." And I went, "Yeah, and your point is?"
Yeah.
Are you jealous that I was an only child?
Because I was the oldest child, and I really am fascinated by the birth order and how it plays into people's lives and courses of life.
Well, you were where in the birth in the?
I was the oldest.
You were the oldest.
And you're the one they experiment with. So
yeah, you're the biggest. You're the big experiment.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And my parents, when I look back at some of the privileges they gave me, I'm amazed. But I was a good kid. I didn't really abuse those privileges. I mean, I'd skip school and I occasionally, but I didn't drink. I didn't smoke. I didn't, have sex randomly. I didn't have sex at all till I was 21.
I was 19.
Yeah, we're late bloomers.
Yeah.
And I wanted to.
Did you catch up? By the way, did you catch up?
It depends. It's all relative.
Did you catch up? I'm asking you because I certainly did.
You did, yeah. But I don't think I really did. I mean, I might have had liaisons, but I didn't have relationships.
Back to the birth order. So now you're the oldest, so you kind of help raise the other ones.
You do, exactly. And it really came into full flower when my mom got into real estate. I was in 9th grade. I had a little sister who was 2 little sisters, but one was 4 years younger than me. So we were in slightly different places. Mm-hmm. I knew a little more. I was a little more worldly. I was a teenager. But I didn't know the answers to some of these questions she would ask me that she would normally ask mom and dad. But my dad traveled with his job. He was a railroad engineer, and sometimes they would do long turnarounds to St. Louis or wherever. Mm-hmm. But my mom just worked constantly. And so Amy, my sister, would come to me with these questions like, what are blowjobs? Are blowjobs? I mean, and I didn't know because I'd never experienced it myself. Now, I had gathered some intel.
My answer to that would be, well, you don't exactly blow on them.
Right. How it got that.
And quite frankly, a job is something that's a task. This isn't a task.
Yeah, not for you.
So both those terms really shouldn't be used.
And together.
And what is basically sucking a dick. Okay, let's put it that way.
Call it what it is, in other words.
Yeah.
But you would ask me these questions, and I wouldn't know. I would give her my best answer, but it was the answer of a 14-year-old who.
Now, how many years ahead? How many years behind was she? from you.
She's 4 years younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
and,
not a lot
so-
today. Not a lot in these days, like at your age, but back then,
It was
you know, if you're 14 and she's 10, there's an entirely different frame of reference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she was a very smart, sharp, intuitive 10-year-old. She's always been her whole life. But still, you're 14, you know, people that you know are having sex. Your friends are having sex, some of them. And at 10, I don't think they were. So I would try to boil down, give her the Reader's Digest of my experience with a moral spin, of course, and because I wanted her to be okay. But it was a responsibility that weighed rather heavily on me.
Now, did she have her first sexual encounter younger than you?
No, she was maybe, no, she did. She was younger than I was.
Yeah. I mean, when she did it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think it came in high school or college.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? In high school?
Yeah. But she was still an earlier bloomer than I, but I kind of blew the stats away. I was really a late bloomer.
Well, you know, I was a late bloomer because, first of all, you had to find somebody to have sex with.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest problem, you know.
And most of them were in witness relocation at the time.
And when it finally happened for me, it was in the back seat of my 1939 Pontiac Torpedo.
Whoa, Torpedo.
Yeah.
Probably electric.
Parked in the woods right off of what is now the Marin County Civic Center.
Ooh.
And I did it, but I didn't know whether I actually found it. So I had her come back and meet me at my home in San Anselmo the next Monday. My parents were both at work, and so we consummated it there. And that's where, you know, I said, okay, this is maybe more like it should be, instead of thinking, I think I hit a crease, you know.
Yeah. Well, that was good that you gave it a second try to make sure.
But
correct. I've gone with the same guy, and we were raised in the Pentecostal church. We couldn't even go to movies and dances for a long time.
Were your parents that strict about it? Because they didn't seem like parents that were strict.
My mother was strict, but my dad, thank goodness for him, he was a voracious reader of like everything from the classics, from the Greek philosophers to Twain. He loved Twain. He loved Chesterton. He loved Thoreau. And so he balanced out her zealotry. I think she was a zealot.
Yeah.
And but she walked the walk and talked the talk.
Did you go to Pentecostal church?
I went to a Baptist church.
You didn't go to a Pentecostal.
I went to Pentecostal church. I went to a Baptist school, rather, for one semester.
Okay, but Pentecostal church, what goes on there? I mean, they speak tongues and everything, don't they?
They do, but every Pentecostal congregation has its own personality. That's a big emphasis. And, I hate to say this, but looking at it as I did, it seemed to be in the poorer churches that the theatrics were more pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
In the more educated congregations, that's not as prevalent. But you have speaking in tongues, which means that you are blessed by the Holy Spirit and speak in something that would resemble gibberish.
There was actually a term for it, but I can't remember what it was, galaglia or something like that. There was.
Yeah.
I don't know what the term is, but I do remember there was a term associated with speaking in tongues. That was the language you were speaking.
Yeah, and it's based on Jesus descending in the form of a dove on the day of Pentecost, and there were a lot of people who were believers, so they were spiritually all of one mind, but they couldn't talk to each other, and so the Spirit descended like a dove, and they were all able to speak in a heavenly language. And I think symbolically, but it seems literal, it's a way of committing yourself, because you are the person.
Did they do any of this healing crap?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. I've never seen much in person, but I've seen long haul healing, which is where someone is prayed for over months and their recovery seems to seems to exceed the normal expectations.
Uh-huh.
And then my cousin was diagnosed with leukemia, and his teenage parents drove all night to an Oral Roberts meeting. And by the time they left that meeting, his fingernails were starting to harden, and he was showing immediate signs of recovery. So, and that's something
He recovered from being healed.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's now a chiropractor, quite hale and hearty.
So the question was, did he really have leukemia?
Well, he was diagnosed.
Well, diagnosed is one thing. Did he really have leukemia?
See, but with that begs the question, and for a lot of people, it's not for skeptics, or at least it can be for skeptics who are ordinarily skeptic about most things, but for some reason they'll feel the touch of the Holy Spirit, and it will break through that skepticism in a way that is so personal and unique.
Yeah.
That it changes their life.
Was this childhood leukemia?
That's what I mean. It was childhood leukemia.
Childhood leukemia sometimes corrects itself later on.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, I see. I mean, the thing about healing that always bothered me was, of course, the fact that some people who were really sick didn't seek the proper guidance they should have sought out, which were good
we
doctors.
Were never, in my era of Pentecost, doctors were encouraged. Yeah. I mean, you could pray for healing, but go to the doctor.
Yeah.
And so, but and the thing is, faith is just a unique animal. I mean, it's just a very unique animal, because I think it was probably more the faith of those two teenage parents who thought their child was going to die within 6 months. He was given 6 months. And they drove all night. And I think it was much more their faith that was the lesson of that.
Yeah, but sometimes these healing things, they felt they got healed by the church, and they didn't get healed, and then they die because they didn't go to doctors.
Well, and the healings or
I would hate to be a doctor who had told somebody your kid has leukemia, and then they took him to one of these faith healers, and then they didn't go back to the doctor because their kid was healed.
That would be bad news. Yeah. And like Sam Kinison, since then, I think that there were a sincere, genuine.
He was a kid preacher.
Right. And he was inspired by Oral Roberts, and on a more grassroots level by these fire and brimstone preachers.
Oh, I had Sam once. I said, give me a little sermon here, and he went into it, and it was exactly what you hear on television from these guys screaming and yelling and, screaming to the Lord. The thing is, what's interesting, are there, maybe you can tell me more in Florida than I can here in New York, but to my knowledge, there aren't, outside of Joel Osteen, who's another phony,
He's okay for my book.
Well, yeah, but he's a phony. They're all phonies. They're all grabbing money from people based on a myth. Okay.
Well, see, ego. Yes, ego enters into it, and then these people become these icons of spiritual.
But outside of him, there aren't very many of those preachers on TV anymore. At least
it's now taken. It's the form. It's New Age spiritualism, which like Marianne Williamson, and that is replaced. It's softer edged.
I when I was looking into the Iowa caucuses this year, they said a major component in Iowa were the evangelicals.
That is true.
And my question is, who exactly are the evangelicals? I mean, do you get a membership card? I mean, how do you know you're an evangelical?
Letter sweater with an E. Still have mine. But
this is why I love her,
But you're right. And the evangelicals, I think that became a softer word, because it was kind of embarrassing in college to say I was raised Pentecostal or I was raised Assembly of God.
Oh, so evangelical's a better term.
Yeah. Well, and you know who I love Jim and Tammy. I'll always love.
Oh God, I love them. Oh, did I love them?
Because they made it okay for Pentecostals to have some bucks, because they did. There was a show.
I thought those two people were so screwed.
I loved them,
but they were so screwed. They said we're building a theme park, a religious theme park.
Six Flags.
Send me your money. And normally, if any of these guys said that, what they got were a couple of Ferris wheels, and that was it.
Yeah.
They built an actual theme park. I mean,
yeah, and if they had taken care to connect with the SEC on what was required, but they were selling unsecured timeshares. They were doing that, and that was their
And the other problem was they weren't checking out their people. Money would come in literally in bills, and there would be a counting room like you have in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Where they were counting all the money, but people were then stuffing their pockets with the money. And Jim and Tammy, meanwhile, didn't want any part of that. They had other important things to do with their ministry. And I felt that they got here's the really bad deal they got. Do I have enough time to explain this? Jerry Falwell always had to go to Jim and Tammy, because what they did in the early days is they got themselves a transponder on a satellite.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to send their shows out by satellite. So if like Falwell wanted to do it, they had to come to Jim Baker and buy time on his transponder.
Yeah, and it galled him.
And they galled him. They wanted the transponder. He and Jimmy Swaggart and a couple of others all got together and figured out, how do we get this guy? How do we get his transponders?
Mm-hmm.
And so what they do is they created this whole situation that got them in trouble. And what happened was Falwell went to Baker and said, I know you're in real trouble now. Sign over the transponders to me. And I will take care of them until you get all this taken care of, and then I'll give it back to you.
Yeah.
He never gave it back. This was his way of literally stealing it.
Yeah, it was. It was a gentleman's agreement. I wouldn't get into any kind of gentleman's agreement with Jerry Falwell.
Yeah.
He's the last thing.
But that's what really screwed them. These guys were jealous and wanted those transponders, because they had a full network going. They had the regular show they did, and then they had the Tammy's Breakfast or something, the show, and then they had some puppet shows, and of course they were puppeteers early on for I think Jerry Falwell.
Yeah,
with Susie Moppet, I think was the name of the doll, which you gave me a Susie Moppet doll. And if you pull the string in her neck, she says, Jesus loves you, he really, really does. And it's Tammy Faye's voice. I still have it in storage somewhere.
Yeah, and and they were. She was. I think Jim and Tammy. They split philosophies, and she became committed to their cause, which she did love people, and she just really.
Well, I mean, they were entertainers, is what I'm saying. This was their big thing when they were with Falwell. They did a puppet show. They were entertainers. And first and foremost, I loved watching that show.
Especially when you were stoned.
Well, the best part was this kid they had that had no arms and no legs.
No. Not Kevin.
Kevin. In the amusement park, they created Kevin's house.
Everything was low.
And everybody could go see Kevin and his friends, like the one-armed girl, the kid with two heads or whatever. And it was like, come see our biblical freak show.
Exactly.
It was amazing.
Yeah, because the elements of fascination to human beings don't change a whole lot. I mean, you can change the setting, which was, a Pentecost Jesus setting, but those elements of entertainment are going to be good in the Jesus setting, going to be good in Vegas.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, they were real entertainers, and I loved them. You know that. I used to go home and watch them every day. I had a girlfriend, who had a satellite dish, and we just sit there as they would send down all the programs for the week to the
Oh,
stations
okay.
and watched them end on end, over the weekend.
Wow. Yeah, I remember you. I was thinking about all your girlfriends, your harem, over the
Well,
years,
yeah,
and you had some really cool girlfriends. Ones that it would be fun to keep in touch with. Like you had. Do you remember at the Atlanta Olympics, old girlfriend of yours who was with somebody else? We went to dinner with her and her nobo at a restaurant in Buckhead.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
she was, and she was a gem. I liked, in
She
fact, that her
was.
name back.
She
Yeah.
was. Hey, listen, we've run out of time for this little segment of Lori and Alex, which is better than Jim and Tammy, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Anyway, see you next week.
All righty.
Ladies and gentlemen, wait a minute, that there is Lori Thompson. Bye, Lori.
Bye bye.
Now in its 10th year, this is GabNet. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Okay, that's another rerun of Lori. Let me tell you what happened here. It really depresses me. These kind of things happen. When these kind of things happen. Today, Lori and I did 2 half-hour or 25-minute episodes. Now, over the day before, I had rebooted this machine because I had put in the new operating system, okay? I forget that when that happens, this new board that I have has to be rebooted, otherwise it doesn't show up. And so we did this show today, and it was great. We did 2 great segments. I mean, we're talking about our sex lives as we were growing up. I mean, it was really good. It was really good. And let me turn this on. There we go. It was really good. And it just, I lost it. I mean, I have it, I could play it for you right now, but there's no audio. So now I have to write Lori. I wrote Lori, and I said, oh, God, guess what happened? I'm sorry. So can you do another 2 with me next week? But I feel bad about it because, number one, they were really good, and I hate wasting somebody's time, So anyway, that was that. Okay. Anyway, we only have one person waiting, and I don't know why. I guess I've been talking with my old producer, Albert Reynoso, and he has talked to me about, you really shouldn't do this 3 days a week. And I said, well, but I do these interviews with people that I enjoy having on, like Lori and Bubbles and, so on. And yourself, as it were. And I said, I really would, I like having those people on. So he says, well, why don't you one day run just a show with nothing but those interviews, and then on Friday do a ramble, and that's it. And when I look today, that the only person here right now is a good one, Charlie Wallace, but that's the only person calling me. I say to myself, that might not be a bad idea, And at my age, why should I work so heavy? So anyway, it was a good suggestion on his part. I don't know why I'm not, just thinking that it's not the worst idea in the world. But anyway, let me go in here and we'll talk to Charlie, okay? Let's see here. Here's Charlie, and Alan has just come online here. So we have 2 other people. But if this doesn't improve by the end of the half hour, we'll do something. We'll go somewhere else. We'll do something else. We'll sign off is what we'll do. And then,
I missed the first part. Why are you signing off at a half hour?
Well,
Why
look.
would you? Because there's only 3 of us?
Yeah.
Oh, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there are more in about a half hour, I'll.
Yeah.
But I had a rough day today. I went out. I had to do my physical therapy to begin with this whole thing screwing up with Lori because I didn't have any audio. And I could explain to you why, but this board I bought, if I turn the machine off and then I reboot it, this thing doesn't automatically show up on all those things, right? I have to reboot the board in order to get it all to come on. I forgot to do that. I didn't remember that you have to do that. And I'll probably forget it next time too. So it'll happen again. But I had to write Lori and tell her, oh God, this one happened. Can we do another 2 next week, and to get this thing taken care of, But anyway, here comes Bree. At least we have somebody from Malaysia. I think we have Bree. I hope it's Bree. There he is. Hi, Bree.
Yeah, hello, everyone. Hi, Alex. Yeah, nice to see you. I heard that you only had Charlie. Is that still true?
No, now I have Charlie and Alan.
Oh, Alan. Okay.
So we don't need you at all.
All right.
So get lost.
Okay. All right, good. I just wanted to make sure.
Wow. So anyway, so how's everything out there? And what is that building in back of you? Is that an apartment building, or is that what is it? Oh, it's not even a building. It looked like a building. It really.
I'm waiting for a
doesn't
shuttle
it look
bus.
like it's a building with like 2 towers up there and everything like that?
Yeah, I'm waiting for. We have this new shuttle bus, and the old one was terrible, but it had an app which told you when it was, where it was, when it was. Now this one, you never know when it's coming. So I just come down here, I spray citronella spray to keep the mosquitoes away, and I wait and I hope that it will come by. And then I will wave at it because it's free. Otherwise, I got to pay $1 or $2 to get up to the office. So I'm in no rush today. I don't have anything due. I already did my meetings online, so I'll just wait.
Yeah, and does that spray help you?
Oh yeah, it keeps them away. They don't like it. One actually came and went on my shoe, and so I sprayed, and it flopped around and looked like it was disgusted and flew away.
It is a citrus spray, so rather than kill the bug,
Citronella.
It just makes the bug say, "Hey, I don't want to be around here."
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any compunction about killing mosquitoes, but this is just what I have. It's anything that's going to kill them might also kill me, I guess.
So where are you going now to lunch?
Huh?
Where are you going to lunch?
Eventually, yeah. I will go to the office first, and I'll just let people see that I'm around, and then I will go to lunch.
You say you're going to the office now. You used to be you used to teach, didn't you? At one point.
Yeah.
What are you doing now?
I used to do that.
What are you doing now?
Oh, that's a debatable question. No, I still do some teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But not as much of it. I try to come up with other ideas for things, which seems to be going okay. They like the ideas I've come up with, but it's the Janet Jackson song, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" You always got to have something new, some new idea.
Yeah. So, but you've been there a long time. Other places you've been.
Yeah. Well, this is 5 years. I was 6 years in Dubai. I was 7 years in Singapore. So I've got one more year here, and then maybe another year, and then I'll be at my regular limit.
And then will you come back here?
All to stand in one place, huh?
Yeah. I mean, this is of all the places I've been, this is the one where I could see myself longer. I thought I could see myself longer in Singapore. But that I'd be longer in Dubai. I think 6 years in Dubai was correct, but I've had offers both places to return.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. One never knows.
Are
Just
you ever going
go
to
with the
return to
flow.
the United States to
See
work?
what becomes available. And
Are you ever going to return to the United States to
somebody
work?
is running down. Oh, I would like to. I would like to. She's running down. I don't know if you could see. So I don't know if she knows something I don't know. Let's see. There she's running. No. Okay. So she's waiting for her ride. I thought she saw. Sometimes people will see the bus from up on their balcony and they'll run down. That happened yesterday,
Okay.
but hold on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, one never knows. I did apply for a job, or I am in the current process of applying for jobs in Texas
Mm-hmm.
and New Jersey.
So you don't want to come to Texas.
Look, I'll go wherever, the job description sort of fits and the salary is decent, and they'll have me. That's the, well, I am kind of picky actually, but yeah.
Well, if you go to Texas, so you can probably go out to lunch with Charlie or something.
I got
Yeah.
nothing to do
What
during
part
the
of
day.
Texas is Charlie in?
Austin.
Oh, in Austin. Okay. My niece lives there.
Yeah.
She works for a startup, one of these online app companies or something.
A lot of them
It
here.
has to do, last time I checked, it had something to do with sharing of recipes and food culture, something like that.
So anyway, so
But I'll have to
Alan,
ask her next time I see her.
you're quiet tonight, Alan.
Oh, well, I'm just listening to Bree, and Charlie has said 3 words, so that's I'm confused what Bree teaches. What does Bree teach?
I don't really talk about all of that. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I just,
no reason to be sorry.
Okay.
I understand. Sometimes toilet bowl cleaning is a tough subject.
That's right. Yeah. I teach janitorial services.
Right. I get it. So okay, no problem.
Well, let's see here. What else? What's happening? Let's see.
Exciting.
Nothing.
Well, we're going to war. I don't know if that's nothing.
What? Oh, you know what's happened here in New York? It just came out. About an hour ago.
Trump got shot at again? No.
Guess who's being arrested by the feds?
Who?
Our mayor.
What?
Yeah.
Our mayor is being arrested by the feds.
Really?
What did he do?
This goes to teach you can't be a mayor in New York without being harassed. Why are they arresting him?
Well, it was a whole thing about the way he raised money for his campaign by taking money from foreign countries and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's funny. We've had some very good mayors. Okay, I mean, the only one who definitely wasn't a crook was Bloomberg because he didn't have to be.
Yeah, he was already
He was already
a
a multi-billionaire and probably was a crook to get there, But he was the most honest mayor I think we've ever had. But this town is not having... What?
That's one of the reasons why. Oh, I got a mosquito here. That's one of the reasons why Singapore pays their politicians very highly. The idea is that if you pay them enough, they won't seek extra ways to make money.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
This is a smart idea.
Yeah.
Actually.
So they can make $1 million just to be a politician. I don't know the exact rate, but I recall reading somewhere you can become a millionaire being a politician in Singapore. That was one of the things that I kind of, whenever I saw Hillary Clinton making the rounds with her new book the other day, and I've met her at least twice. I lunched with her, at lunch with Bill. With Bill, it was a larger group, but with Hillary, it was smaller. She was running for Senate in New York at the time. But I don't know how I feel about people becoming well in public service. I think to be well off. to be well paid. Just don't like it when I see them. Like when Obama left office, he immediately went to Richard Branson's private island, for vacation. And I don't know. I just there's something that doesn't sit right with me.
I think he's entitled to do that. I think that, he's no longer president. He can't do anything good for Branson. They might be.
I think he could.
Well, I mean, he couldn't do anything. I don't think. Okay, in the case of Obama, you didn't have a president who was completely, what could we call it, Washingtoned up. He was almost an outsider that came in briefly as a senator and then ran for president and won. So I mean, I always kind of trusted him, and I don't think there was anything wrong with him going to Branson's Island. Okay.
Well, the thing that caught me about Branson, I think I told you before, that mosquito does not want to. He doesn't care. He's coming after me.
Yeah, he's gonna have to die.
The thing about him, there was a hurricane or something that hit this island.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a video. Richard Branson was like, "Please donate," and he was down there and he's showing the shacks that were. And then I found out he owns the island, and like those people probably worked for him. Like he was the economy of that island.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why am I donating for your people? Like that totally lost me because I was. Big Richard Branson fan.
I think it's called Necker Island, if I'm not mistaken. But why did you feel bad about him?
It was his responsibility. He could write a check and solve all the problems immediately. He was and basically he was asking other people to fund his island, to fund his way of life, to fund his, the people that live there.
I don't remember him exactly.
I disagreed with that.
I don't remember him exactly.
And he lost me.
I don't remember him exactly doing that.
He did. I remember the video because I was thinking about donating, and then I read that he owns that those people work for him.
Yeah, he owns the whole island.
Those families are partner. Yeah. So that's his responsibility in my opinion. But I followed him. I've read his books. I know I can tell you a lot about him from all of that. And I really looked up to him until that time when he asked other people to donate to something that should have been his. They were only there because of him, essentially. And why doesn't he build them, concrete with rebar?
I don't know the complete story.
We know
I don't know
how to build.
Yeah, I don't know the complete story, so I can't argue it with you. But I would imagine part of it maybe had to do with, these guys who say they're billionaires aren't as rich as they say they are. Okay? And so they have a crisis like that hit, and they're not able to overcome it. I mean, how much of a billionaire is Donald Trump? Do you think he could even come up with $1 billion right now? I mean, outside of the money he's stolen from his minions who, send him money for his, what's the latest one? A coin now? He has a coin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he has the...
for $10, he sold it for 100 silver.
Yeah, they had the Bitcoins.
That's worth 30.
Huh?
Oh, 30. I'm sorry, 30. It's like...
Well, it's a silver coin, and the silver in it is worth $32. Yeah. And you can buy it for $100.
You can buy it for 100. What an investment!
Well, don't you want a coin with Donald Trump's visage on it?
No, I hope Phil is not contributing to this. I wish he would call in. He cannot be giving him money.
I'll tell you. When you want to talk about guys who have a lot of money, or supposedly have a lot of money, begging for money from people, it's Trump.
Yeah. I was going to tell you this, Alex. So my brother, because I heard you before, my brother's boss, the mayor's in, the feds got him. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you what they have to pass in government. He did not show his taxes, Eric Adams. Neither did Trump. When they don't show their taxes, that's a warning sign.
Well, you know what's very funny, you ask about that, and I say, well, what your taxes are is private to you, but it really isn't. If I want to rent an apartment here in New York City, I have to show them
to see your
2
taxes.
years worth of
Yep.
tax
Yep.
statements. So they know every penny I spend and don't spend and so on. And quite frankly, I think there should be a law against that.
Same way in California. If you want to rent someplace, you got to prove your income.
You could even ask for the last pay stub they got
Yep.
and call up. Yeah.
No.
I mean, we didn't do. See,
Well, you don't want to rent to people that
oh,
you
I
know,
agree with you. They could
maybe have
squat.
enough money to get in and then tear up the place, or don't have enough money to get it the next month. So you want to make sure in the background investigation that the rental that people can afford it.
Yeah, I see, but I think Alex's point is what you're trying to say, Alex, is if me and you have to show all this, they're running for higher office.
These people,
they don't got to show it.
Yeah, I mean, Donald Trump running for president, I want to see his.
I want to see everything. Like, hey, who do you owe money to? Where is it coming from? This doesn't add up. How did you get all
I don't really need to see it, but the media can see it and then tell me.
No, I want
never
to see it.
saw
They should make that public record.
Well, I think if somebody's running for president of the United States, he owes it to the American public, to be honest.
I want to vote for you. I want to see where it's coming from.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily to see where every penny is coming from, but I do think that it should be made public, because if there's anything in there where, let's say you can be, you can be, what's the word I'm looking for? You can be,
A crook like Donald Trump.
huh?
A crook like Donald
Could be an
Trump.
agent of a foreign country.
I was just going to say, how do you know he doesn't know? Hey, what is this coming from Russia? You can see he can be bought and sold. I mean,
well, that he can be. What's the word I'm looking for? Boy, I'm so out of it now.
what is it again? Like,
Blackmailed.
Huh?
Blackmailed.
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 Let's make sure he doesn't have anything where he can be blackmailed, and you can tell that from some.
Yeah,
of the
but I don't think you
taxes.
could blackmail Trump, right? I think that's impossible.
In what?
Isn't that
You'd
what
be
Stormy
surprised,
Daniels
really.
did? For him to get 130,000 to her?
Well, he never wanted his taxes to be seen for a very simple reason. He made his entire business was based on him being a billionaire. This myth of him being a billionaire.
Mm-hmm.
And if he came out with his taxes, you would find out exactly how much of a billionaire he really was. And that
Not necessarily.
Huh? What do you mean not
necessarily? Your taxes show your annual income.
Personal income.
But it doesn't show your wealth.
you could read that and see where it's what he's generating, and you can see like, hey, listen, you could see a lot of things with taxes. Because I remember talking to Shecky about that, Alex. He said the same thing you were saying, that there's a reason when they don't want to disclose it, Bree. That's a blueprint to what they're doing, really.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I mean, it's a warning. It's a warning sign.
I mean, look how. I mean, it's almost like if you're going to the bank, Alex, right?
Mm-hmm.
And or even Bree, I want a loan for a house or mortgage. They got to look through everything. I just can't say I'm going to give this guy $300,000.
Well, as I say, I had to when I took an apartment downtown, and when I took this apartment here, I had to supply them with 2 years worth of tax statements, my tax returns. And if I have to do that, then they should have to do it. It's not asking too much of them. Let me put it that way. Trump acts like he can't do it. He's got too much going, and his taxes are.
You might have said the account. It's so much going on. It's very difficult. It's very complicated. No, it's not. I just don't want to disclose it.
Yeah, I can't.
He's being audited.
Oh, he's being
Yeah,
audited.
he's always under. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, come on. So I mean, I think that we are owed that, and I would not expect it of them if it's not expected of me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this country's totally turned on its head. Really, I still cannot get over. Like Alex, I don't know how you guys feel about this. I was walking to the post office, right, and I was mailing my packages, Alex. I'm walking back home, and this big truck. It must have been a Hummer or something. Big Trump flag going up and down the main road, like semi speeding up and down. It's almost like they're trying to be intimidating, I think. Like, hey, I'm over here. We're here still.
Oh, I've got people in this neighborhood. The amount of motorcycles that go up and down the block with their tailpipes farting, you know?
Blaring.
Huh?
Yeah, we get that here. You'll probably hear one or two along this way.
Yeah.
Oh boy. There you just almost an accident right there.
Yeah.
Should have shown you it.
Well, you see, when
One car just pulled out in front of another.
when Marjorie hears those motorcycles making all that noise, she yells at the top of her voice, "Small penis."
Yeah, there's a guy on YouTube that does that in Thailand.
Oh, really? Is he?
Yeah,
Is
he
he?
has a YouTube channel.
Is he still alive? Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna turn.
Yeah,
on
I mean, I don't understand that. It's a quality of life issue and a noise pollution issue. So, but there are younger guys that they want to have this loud noise, and I don't know. You know, there must be something psychological, obviously, about it. It's like, well, when people roll down their windows and turn up their music, you know, and they want everybody else to hear their music.
Well, something happens.
I don't, but.
I mentioned this to Marjorie yesterday. I said, "What's happened? Is it because we're old that all these noises bother us now?"
I don't think that's it.
You know, I start hearing a motorcycle going up and down the street or a siren. The siren.
I never liked it as a kid, Alex. So.
Yeah, I mean, it drives me crazy.
I think I mean, I don't know if you agree, but when we get older, we recognize what makes a quality life. And, you know, when we're younger, we're just sort of hustling and trying to get by and move forward.
I think my ears are more sensitive to it. How about you, Jeff? Do you feel the same way, that you're bothered by noises?
I think that, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, it was almost a license that they had to keep things quiet.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have the loudest kind of car and whatever, and they would pull you over and give you a record problem.
Yeah.
Because
They give you a noise ticket, basically, is what it was. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was the way it was, and all of a sudden it's gone, and now you do whatever you want.
Well, you know, I mean, people who do.
I think they probably have that here.
Well,
they probably have that here, but the enforcement is a big issue.
Well, but people who do do that are just being pricks, because they're being they don't care about the people that live around them. You know, they don't care about other people.
Empathy.
Yeah, no empathy, no caring.
Totally inconsiderate.
Right. And I don't know, but am I right or am I wrong, or am I an old man saying this? But isn't one of the touchstones of a civilized society the way we treat each other?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know.
100%. And I've had that issue here. I mean, I've had to move 3 times. 2 times since I got here. Now I'm in my 3rd apartment, because the first 2, I couldn't get along with the neighbors. They refused to be civil. And their whole attitude was, well, they've been there longer and they're from here. That was it.
Oh,
so that gives them the right, you know.
But, you
and
know,
so I know.
Don't they know how to be civil with other people? Don't they say, hey, you know, I'm good, I'll be good to them and they'll be good to me and we'll be good to each other?
Right.
You know, I mean,
That's
lost that. We've really lost that here in the United States. I mean, the whole thing with the hate that goes on in this country now, even between political parties and so on. I mean, there's nothing civil any longer about the United States of America. And what I do like about Kamala Harris is that she's trying to bring back a little bit of that civility. Now, maybe it's for her own good and for trying to win, but man, it's sure refreshing. You know,
you listen to him. You think you would think like we're being baited. Trump. It's like
with Trump, there is nothing good about this country. We are in trouble. the latest thing he did, which is just pales in comparison to anything else he's done recently, is
What are you
his.
doing?
Did you hear the speech he gave about "I'm the protector of women"?
Yeah, yeah. Say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he crazy? I mean,
Yes.
yeah, you're right.
No, he will.
Hmm?
He speaks in sort of fifth grade language,
Yep.
and in order sound bites.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his whole persona, his whole language is built around media.
Mm-hmm.
He knows what to say, when to say it, and he's an Escher painting to a large extent. What you see, what you want to see, when you want to see it,
Yeah.
and that's.
He says women will be
It's
happy
impossible.
and free.
Yeah,
The president.
because he's
Free
there.
to do what? They can't control their own bodies.
I
How's
was just going to
that free?
say that they can't decide what they want to have a baby on.
They will be free.
Yeah,
That's what he said.
it's bizarre.
So he won't have
No.
to pay money for them? Is that what he's saying?
That's
I
what
mean,
he's saying,
you won't have to.
I have a
worry,
question.
You won't have to worry about being raped on the streets anymore. No, you have to be worried to be raped in a
Hotel
dressing room at where was it,
Yeah.
Bloomingdale's or wherever it was that he.
That's what happened. He was in Bloomingdale. My mother used to work in Macy's.
Maybe it
and,
was it Bloomingdale's or it was
Macy's is like Kmart, Tony.
Oh, really? I thought Macy's. Well, she worked in A&S before that. Really? He got in the dressing room. This guy has no.
I think it was a dressing room, wasn't it?
Oh, that was
yeah.
good. What's her name?
Here's to my brother.
Dean.
Yeah. That's is that the one that is that the one that E. Jean Carroll got the money for? Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, the bus comes. The bus is there. Finally,
Really?
unbelievable,
Walked off. Yeah.
unbelievable. The bus finally comes.
Oh,
I
thank,
decided to walk, and then the
thank-
bus comes. So now I've got to
thank
back.
God. Now we won't have to watch all the beautiful buildings behind Bree anymore.
That looks like Queens.
Well, today I had my normal conundrum. I took a lift over to
Shuttle bus is here.
over to my PT, my
Okay.
physical therapy, and then after the physical therapy, I decided I'll take a cab home because it's cheaper than a lift, and plus you can get. Well, there didn't seem to be any cabs,
Oh,
and what
no,
there
that-
were didn't.
I'm the only
stop.
one on here because there's no app.
Really?
No.
Oh, you're the
Oh,
only
he
one
found
there.
the bus.
That's all to himself.
Anyway, the point is that I then had the conundrum, which I run into every now and then. I can't get a cab right now, but I know that if I call Lyft and call for a lift, a cab will suddenly show up.
Yep. Yeah.
So I just waited, you know. And the
You
great
could
thing
have
about
walked there.
what?
Everybody walks in New York. You could have walked there. I think I only took a cab once in New York when I was there in 1999.
Wait a minute. Well, do you know how far I would have to walk
Oh, yeah,
to
walk,
get
I
to
don't
my
know.
PT?
No, I don't know.
Oh, it's quite a few miles.
Oh, okay, forget that idea.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a couple of blocks.
Oh,
And why
I
am I
walk to
going to
Har- I walk down
to
Battery Park.
PT? To try and be able to walk again. Yeah. So, you know,
I love physical therapy. They show you all these exercises, then give you a handout, and you're expected to do them at home.
well, no, as I said, what bothers me about it is I would like to be able to go to PT, and that's where I do all the exercises. And then I go home, and I don't have to do anything till next week.
Right.
No.
And today they really worked me out, you know, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but I'm, you know, I don't know if I feel any better, but
You know, in a couple of weeks, you'll realize that you're getting better.
oh really?
You'll sleep good tonight too with the PT after working out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
When they used to work on my mother's her legs at the house, she slept good. She slept like a log. Like after that.
You
Yeah.
touched your mother's legs? Oh,
No,
this guy's going to vote for Trump now.
She used to sleep that night like a baby. I was watching. I used to walk by the room and say, "Oh, she's sleeping good."
I'm sorry, I didn't know your mother, Tony.
Yeah.
Your stories sound like Throw Mama from the Train.
She wasn't that bad.
I'll tell
You know what I do miss though, Alex? She used to wake me up in the middle of the night. Anthony, I said, what? And she used to ask for Tic Tacs or water. I says, Ma, this is not important at night. My mouth is dry. I remember that.
This is the lady in Throw Mama from the Train, I'm telling you.
Yeah, she's a little Italian lady. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so
I love her. Billy Crystal's there, and he's eating with and she asks, "Who's this?" And he says, "Oh, it's Cousin Billy." And she hits him over the head with a fry pan. You don't have a Cousin Billy.
okay.
All right.
I guess you had to see Throw Mama from the Train.
I've
so.
seen Throw
Yes, we
Mama
had
from the
to.
Train, but
I sure never seen it.
I forgot it years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw
Are
it.
you still the only guy on the bus, Bree?
Got the whole place to himself.
No, there's one other.
One
Oh.
other. Oh,
Two of
okay.
us now.
Oh, okay.
But
And
it's rare.
And you're going where?
To work.
Oh, he's going to work. He did say that.
Going to work. Well, now I'm going to go to
I
lunch.
think I missed, right?
But the place I want to go, I need a card to get 50% off. And I love
You're breaking up on us, I guess. You know.
Yeah, the bus is in and out of Wi-Fi.
Well, no, he isn't doing Wi-Fi. He's doing an actual, phone.
4G now.
Oh,
4G.
Anyway, so anyway, we got this whole thing is starting to bother me. This whole election, and what's bothering me about it is that really, it's slow going. You know, I mean, and they say, and I don't know if this is the TV people just trying to get people to watch, but it never seems as
That's
though
what it
she
is.
gets enough traction to get ahead of Donald Trump.
I'm
I mean, she's
scared.
ahead of Donald
That's
Trump,
correct.
but they say it's within the
Margin of error.
margin of error. Yet,
That's right. They need
am
a
I
horse
right
race.
or am I wrong? What used to be
No,
the
you're right.
margin of error?
Like 2%?
3% was
Is
the
it good?
margin of error. Now, if it's at 5%, it's within the margin of error. Well, how bad have you gotten at your polling? You know?
Well, that's the confidence in it. It depends on whether they want to what percent they want to suggest they would be active.
Yeah. But I mean, she's got a fairly comfortable lead, I think. But as to whether she's going to win the Electoral College, that's the other problem. You know, it's ridiculous. Alex looks so bored. What does it say here? Wait. Bree is Curly's son. There's your five members. Alex looks so bored. Good. Did Bree find a woman yet? Bree is married, asshole. The professor, let's see. Bree likes to eat raw fish. Wake up, Al. Do I look asleep tonight?
That could be Alan.
I think it's on my
And
island.
I worked out today. Come on, leave me alone, It's been a rough day today. I had to do an hour with Lori Thompson that never came to fruition because I didn't get the audio. And let's see here. Then I went to do PT, which is exhausting. And then I came home, and then I had to deal with you people, which is exhausting.
Yeah.
So, what have you? So you think Kamala's going to win this one? What's your latest predictions, people?
Well, Alan Lichtman says that it's Kamala Harris. And he has correctly predicted all of them except the 2000 race.
Really?
So, so don't worry, you can stay at home. He's going to win.
Well,
But I can tell you Trump will win Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania will go to Trump. It's funny because Kamala, when she goes
No,
to
it doesn't
Western
look. It
Pennsylvania, she
doesn't.
always.
Wait a minute, it doesn't look very good right now for Trump in Pennsylvania.
No,
How much you want to bet, Alex?
She's ahead.
How much
isn't
you
she?
want to bet me?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
How much you?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Charlie, she's ahead, right, in Pennsylvania? Yeah.
Yeah. Within the margin of error, but she's ahead.
Yeah.
First
Don't
time.
count your chickens. I'll tell you why. That's my state. Look where Kamala Harris goes. I mean, she's giving a talk today, I think, in Pittsburgh. That's my hometown. That's great. I love it. But nobody lives in downtown Pittsburgh. Downtown Pittsburgh is a shell of its former self. Everybody lives outside. She doesn't go to those areas. She just goes to Pittsburgh. And it's like, that's not going to win you your votes. In fact, most people around Pittsburgh, they have not.
I believe
it.
I believe they were in some of the places that you're saying that she should be going. They already did it early on.
Okay.
Yeah, but supposedly in Pennsylvania she's ahead. But you don't.
Yeah, I'm reading here the one report just came out of
what?
The Hill. I'm just reading now. The Hill.
Yeah.
Has her in the Pennsylvania poll by 5 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Don't believe it.
I know. I'm scared because I think that they can screw with those polls.
Well,
yeah.
The polls don't say everything.
No.
What they don't tell you is they tell you what people will tell you they're going to vote for when you're standing there with a clipboard. But what? What?
I left my hat on the bus.
Oh shit.
Here, take mine. Take mine, Bree.
Well,
boy.
there's no way to get it back, is there?
No, I had a hat, didn't I? Yeah, I did.
No, I don't think you did.
I don't remember you having a hat.
I don't remember you having a
Yeah,
hat.
I
You
had a
had one.
hat.
You had one that was to
boy.
shoo the mosquitoes away.
Maybe you left it where you were sitting waiting for
No, because when I walked down, I remember the sun was hot and I put it on. Oh gosh darn it, that's the second hat I've lost this month. I'm going to the other side and wait for the bus to come back. Gosh darn it. I can't believe it. It had to be on the, and I know what happened because I've got a bag here, and this bag is very important for me, and I didn't want to lose the bag. It's a Sea to Summit sling bag. It's very hard to find.
Yeah.
And so, oh, darn it. There goes
I
my
got
day.
a lot of hats, Bree. Give me your address. I'll mail you one.
This one is special because it's made from a material that is very, very lightweight and it dries very quickly. Oh, gosh darn it. And if it wasn't on the bus, then I have to go all the way back and retrace where I walked.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. What a waste
Do you
of
remember when you
time.
bought it?
What?
Yeah, I mean, I know
Do you
where I
remember
can
where
get
you
another
bought
one.
Yeah.
It's $7.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Buy two next time. That way you'll have a spare.
I do. I have two. In fact, I had three. I lost one.
But right now he's in a very hot country,
Yeah.
and to not have a cap. Right? Am I right about that? Plus, look at him. He's
You have
got
to
no
have a
hair.
cap.
He's got no hair.
Yeah. I'd be a red lobster.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I wear a cap is not because I'm bald and don't want to admit to it, but the reason I wear a cap outside is because I don't like the sun, bearing down on my head. So
Yeah. It either I left it on the bus or when I made the exchange to my belt clip, I have a clip for it. It fell. I didn't put it on correctly, and it might have fallen off. So
see, I don't remember. Do you want me to go back and replay?
no,
the
I
beginning of
definitely
this?
had it, Alex. I remember putting it on to block the sun as I walked down that long stretch. I remember because the sun was very hot, and I said, "Wow, I'm glad I remembered my hat."
It said Trump for president. I remember it too. You had a hat on while you were walking earlier. I agree.
Okay. So I got to get it back. What a waste of a day. You know, my whole time. I waited a half an hour for that stupid bus. And then once I get on it, I lose my hat. You know.
Here we've got an election going on here. We were talking about it, you know, and who's going to win and who's not going to win. And all of a sudden, we have a major tragedy. Bree and his hat.
Well, it's true.
I know. I feel that way. If I lose a hat or something, I feel the same way, you know.
And this is the second one, you know, in a month.
Yeah.
And the other one, I left it in a taxi. And so I told the taxi driver, when you come by this, well, it's like an Uber. When you come by this area, just leave it with the security desk. She said, how much? How much are you giving me? Are you paying me to drive there? And I said, just if you happen to be in the area, like, you know, anytime within the next year, you know, which is very likely. And I never got it back. So.
She wanted more than it cost to buy a new hat.
Yes. Oh, and I had that in Dubai, the same thing. I had this sweater I wear. It's a brown jersey that I wear on the airplane. Mm-hmm. It's very light, but it's also warm. And I left it in a taxi. And so I contacted them and I said, I will come out to the airport because I think that, you know, the next day, it was midnight. I had to take a taxi. And the guy said, oh, I'll bring it to your hotel. I'm like, no. But he had already started driving. So he got there and he's like, it's 80 dirhams. I'm like, are you kidding? That's $20 US. I said, the jersey is probably just about worth that, you know? And I said, I wanted to meet you out there. I was going to take the subway. So how about 40? And he agreed to 40. So I paid $10 to get my jersey back.
Wow. Wow.
He probably sprayed her
these things happen
with mosquito repellent.
Well, in Dubai, you don't need that. But in Malaysia, you do.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, so.
Next weekend, I'll be in Vietnam. So I'll try to call you from there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the weekend after that, I'll be in the Philippines. Weekend after that, I'll be in Thailand. The weekend after that, in Singapore. Weekend after that, in China.
Wow, you're just traveling man.
Weekend after that, Greece, Athens.
Do you need the hat because you got to walk from place to place?
Yes, I do.
My wife and I, in a couple of weeks, are going to be in Lebanon, and
no,
really?
No, not.
Going to France.
Yeah.
I have an open invitation to go to Lebanon at any time.
Come to Lebanon, watch people get killed.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, the thing is that I was talking to Lori, and they're traveling. They're going to be taking, we're going to take a trip around the world by boat. And now they're not going to be able to do it because the boat will not go near any of those countries.
I don't blame them.
So what they do is they leave everybody off on the
They could just go to Cyprus. They could reroute that. Just go to Cyprus instead of Lebanon.
Well, I mean, it's just there are too many hot spots right now, and they can't assure that the boat isn't going to be, you know, pirated or whatever, any number of things.
Oh. Yeah.
You know. So I mean, who knows what's going to happen? So
well, you know, if pirates get on board, then you'll appreciate more when you have somebody that is sniper trained on board and takes out these bad guys.
Yeah. Did you see you see what Kamala said? If she owns a gun and if somebody came into her house, she shoot them. And I thought that was an honest answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, she didn't.
And if she's the president of the United States, she can get away with it because the Supreme Court said so.
No, but no, she could also
get away with it anyway.
You can get away with it anyway.
Invading their house.
In most states, you know, they have laws that allow you to protect yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just not own a gun because I'm afraid of them. Okay. They give me a chill.
I don't know where the bus stops here. I'm not sure where the bus stops here.
Are you trying to go
Okay.
back and get your cap? Is that what's going on here?
Yes, I'm waiting for the bus to come back. I will get on the bus, see if my cap is there. If it is, I'll take the cap and get back off quickly.
Weren't you
If
going?
not, I have to ride the bus back.
Weren't you going to work?
Huh?
Weren't you going to work?
Yes, I was, but
Are you going to tell them you're going to be
I
late?
don't have. No, I don't have to do that. I have flexi time,
No, okay.
and technically Thursdays are my well, Monday's my work from home, but Thursday is my leave me alone day, so I can get work done for 2 months. Yeah, so I have flexi time.
Okay. All right. It sounds like a good country to work in. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Sounds like they treat you right.
Well,
So how have you been, Tony?
do.
What have you been up to, Tony?
Well, other than selling comics and walking the dogs, that's about it, really.
How's Kansas doing?
Kansas is doing good. Actually, I had to turn away a customer because, Alex, I'm walking 4 dogs. I'm getting tired. I said, jeez. But you know what's funny, Alex, though?
Why are you walking dogs? Do you get paid for it?
Yeah, I get $40 an hour, so I actually have a little side hustle, too, now.
$40 an hour. Wow.
Yeah. But, you know, like,
I'm not even going to
Kansas is my
ask him what he
favorite.
makes off of the comic books because
Yeah,
he's
the
not.
comics
so if he's got 4, he makes 160 an hour.
So I got so yeah. I was going through a collection I bought. I'll tell you a quick story. I bought a collection from a guy he's about, I would say he's in the early 70s. So my brother knew the guy he worked with me. So he's moving in with his girlfriend in Brooklyn. So he's getting rid of the apartment in Queens. He says, I'm going to throw these comics out. He says, Tony, you want to give me whatever you think of them. So I went over there. I says, you know what? I'll give you $100. He had like $200. I was looking at him, right? I'm not going to go through every book, but I saw like 10 or 15 that I can probably send to CGC. Says, I'll take it. So then I come home and I'm still going through the books, right? And I'm looking at, I pull one of the books out. It's an Iron Man. I go, it's signed by Joe Simon on the cover from the guy who created Captain America in the 40s. I said, holy shit. And I had Joe Simon sign books for me. So I went in the back. I said, let me pull the book out. I know how he signs. I said, oh shit, I'm not going to verify it myself, but that's his signature. So I send it out to CGC to verify it.
CDC,
So it's like,
wait a minute, isn't that the people who look into drugs and things like that?
No, no, that's the grading company. So now they'll verify the signature for me. So I said, I definitely know it's his. So I was like, oh my! I called my brother. I says, look at
So
this.
how much would that be worth now? You bought
That's a
all
good
these
question.
for
I looked it up.
$200. Huh?
I would say
$200.
no more than that because it's Joe Simon. He didn't sign a lot of books because he was old when they started doing this. And I would say I could probably get, if I weighted it out on the low end, say $400.
Jeez. Oh, my.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to sell that privately on Comic Link. I'm not trying to promote them, but I know the guy who works there. And because you know why, Alex? It's a private house on Comic Link. So let's say you're a high-end, you're a buyer and you want to keep yourself concealed. When you put a book on Comic Link, you don't really know who's buying the book. So
Now,
say
I'm not
Josh
going to ask you how much
Yeah.
money you make with this comic book hustle of yours.
I have a lot of stuff, yeah.
No, yeah, but wait a minute. Hold on a second.
I hope you pay your taxes.
Do you pay?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
do you make at least $100,000 a year doing this?
It's time to not
Whoa.
discriminate
Wait,
yourself.
wait a
I
minute,
do
wait a minute.
okay.
What-
I do okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do okay. And that's the Jew answer. Come on, you
Yeah,
know.
that's what it does. Check your second. Yeah, it's like I got my Morgan Stanley account. I used to laugh when I home. What are you doing? I said, well, I take some of the money and then I says I'm investing, and this is. I really don't want the comics because it's not liquid enough for me. I like the idea that when I move money into, say, a stock or an index, I can just call up and
You're
say,
doing
you know,
stocks on top of this?
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've always done stocks.
He's a hustler.
Alex, and I'm not trying to brag. I don't mean it like that. Because I was a kid who really never had a great job. But you know what I said to someone? Says, so I kind of always saved one of my checks from A&P, and I have it still in the back. And I said, I leave it up there. Because you know what I say to myself when the butcher says to me, you know, you really don't pay attention. You know what I said? And I say, hey, Vinny, I talk to the check like this. Hey, Vinny Mondo, I still have Apple stock in Microsoft for the last 25 years. You know, I don't mean arrogant, but when you get people telling you like, oh, you know, you're stupid or he's eccentric, that's just me. I mean, I don't mean to be like callous about it, because I always talk, because you know what it is? When my mom never made a lot of money, or I mean, when you were struggling to get by, you appreciate when you're making something then.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember you were working for your uncle.
Yeah, actually, I did it as a
boxing
favor.
hats and doing things
I liked the
that.
place. I was keeping busy. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Baseball.
But all along, you were making.
Oh, I was always selling comics. You do that. I used to fight with him all the time.
So I'm still saying, you make at least $100,000 a year.
Oh yeah, I do well.
I do.
Alex, I do all my taxes.
Somebody that makes 100,000 a year could afford an orthodontist.
Well, I mean, I just didn't get my braces done, to tell you the truth. I was paying out of my pocket. I didn't even have dental insurance.
Well, even if you do have dental insurance, it's like $1,500 they're going to pay back every year.
Yeah, you're right. That's my deductible.
So all your dental work that you do pretty much is out of your pocket. Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't mean to be like, look at me or anything like that, because it's also a stroke. You hit something on the head, Alex, and people think like it's a lot of luck. Because I invested in Apple, Alex, back in the day when they were ready to go out of business.
Yeah, well, they were close to going belly up.
Yeah,
at one point.
that's when I put a whole bunch of money in them. I said, you know what? If he's going to rescue them, maybe they'll stick around. So I threw some money in them then.
Tony, maybe you ought to invest in the Trump stock.
Are you crazy?
It's near an all-time low.
No way.
Past 2 days, it's gone up $1.
But look at Alan does well. You know what I do love though, Alex? And I can tell you guys this, what I love about the comics, and I even told this to Shecky, he said, you know what I loved about it? Because I still have stuff my mother bought for me as a kid, like big treasury editions, and I don't sell those because it almost feels like when I'm doing it, I feel like a kid again still, I still read the stories, so I enjoy it. To me, it's not like work to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Other than Alex, it's your Texas post office rerouted a box. The guy is supposed to go to Tomball, this guy, one of my customers. He says, Tony, they pushed the box. It's coming back to me. So I got a box going back to the guy. So Texas's post office is a little shaky down there right now.
Yeah.
Charlie. Yeah, he's going to get it tomorrow, I told him.
Well,
I was tracking.
Are there problems with the Texas post offices?
I think so. I mail out these umpire checks every couple of weeks, and it's like more and more of them are getting to the wrong place.
Yeah, they rescanned it wrong.
What's strange about that is that isn't a problem with Texas. That's the problem with the federal government.
Could be too. I mean,
because of the joy, whatever his name is, that Trump put in there, he's trying to kill the post office.
Well, I can attest to one thing, Alex, and I can tell you guys this. Remember the last election, Charlie, when he was screwing around with the post office stuff? That November, Alex, and into December, anything I sent to Chicago, it wasn't even moving. It was just sitting there. And I had to close my store, I told Checky, for the whole month of December because I had too many boxes that weren't moving. He screwed everything up.
He was doing that because he was trying to screw up the voting, mail-in voting. Yeah.
I was pissed. He cost me a whole month of work, of sales.
Wow.
That's hilarious. He killed my mother and he hurt my store.
Oh, really?
Alex, I went to the cemetery and I go, Ma, please. I don't know if you can hear me, but you got to make him lose. I can't take it. He wins.
Well, who knows what's going to happen, but all I know is we're going to France on the 7th. And if he becomes president in that period of time, we're not coming back.
Hey, you could stay there, Alex. How long could you stay out of the country?
I can keep getting visas.
30 days.
Oh, okay.
No, but I think
he has connections. He's Alex Bennett.
I think you can do. Yeah. I think you can do like 3 months or something like that.
Well, watch your taxes. You have to.
Yeah. But anyway, there's the
Still
thing.
haven't got your hat yet back, Bree?
I'm waiting for the bus to come back.
Well, tune in tomorrow night, and Bree will call the program and let you know if he ever got his hat back. Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate your call tonight. Thanks to Alan. Thanks to Bree, who took pity on me, saying, you got to call Alex because he doesn't have anybody. Jeff Stein, thank you so much. And Tony, of course, thank you for calling us this evening. Everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you.
Be safe, Bree.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. We'll be getting another one assembled tomorrow night. In fact, there's one that's going to be assembled right now courtesy of Amy Manuel in the intersection, and they'll be taking your calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. I'll see you again, let's see here, tomorrow night, same time, you know. I've still got 50 seconds. Let me stall here. Oh, what do you know? This, this, look at that. Look at that. Oh, that shouldn't be. Anyway, I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, you know what to do. Tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.